Hey guys, and welcome to our Lighten group of blending modes. Now, everything in this group that's from Lighten all the way down to lighter color, these are all going to lighten up your image. So in these cases, black is going to be invisible and the light areas will show up. So we're starting off this group with the Lighten blending mode. Now, it's important to note that a lot of these blending modes are literally just the exact opposite calculations of what's going on in our darken group. So Lighten, the blending mode that's called Lighten, is actually the exact opposite of darken. So how it works is it looks at whatever's underneath it, okay? And if it's lighter, it's going to be invisible on the Lighten blending mode, and if it's darker, it's going to be visible. So we don't actually have like pixel blending going on. It's just going to be a visible or invisible based on whether the underlying layer is lighter or darker. So a quick technical note here, the Lighten blending mode and the lighter color blending mode are almost the exact same. It's just a small calculation difference in how it calculates the colors of the layers underneath it. So with Lighten, it looks at each of the color channels, and with lighter color, it takes those color channels and puts them together and then shows visible or not visible based on that composite. So now that we got the technical stuff out of the way, let's jump into Photoshop and show you how to use the Lighten blending mode. So here we are in our sample images in chapter 3. Let's take a look at Lighten, and we have two different images here. So let's go ahead and open those up. We have someone at a carnival with some like lights in front, and then we just have a totally separate image with some light streaks. So I'm going to grab my move tool and click and drag from one image to the other. I'll just put those right about there. I'm going to hit F for full screen. So let's take a look at our blending modes. We've already covered our normal blending modes. We've covered our darken blending modes. Now it's time for our Lighten group. So Lighten, screen, color dodge, linear dodge, and lighter color. All of these will lighten your photos. So we're going to start off with Lighten here. Now basically how this works is it's looking at the colors underneath this layer. And if the colors are darker, then it's going to show up. And if the colors are lighter, it's not going to show up. So you can see, for instance, this layer here, okay, is not showing up in the sky area because the underlying layer is lighter. But if I bring it here, it's starting to show up because the underlying layer is darker right there. Okay, so it's a simply show up or not show up situation. There really is not much blending going on. It's just looking at whether it's lighter or darker. So in this quick example, literally we're just using some light effects from another photo to add interesting light effects to this photo. I thought it was appropriate because we already have some lighting effects in this photo, and I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead, let's just size these up maybe and do something like that, and we can kind of fill the entire frame. So we've already got some interesting lighting effects on this image. Let's go ahead and add more to them. So anytime you just want to add lightening, you can see that black is completely invisible here, just the lighter areas are showing up. This is the perfect time to use a Lighten blend mode. So there we have the Lighten blending mode. Keep in mind this is just going to be visible or not visible based on the light levels of the underlying layers. Now if you want a little bit more blending, that takes us to our next blending mode, which is screen, which is one of the very commonly used blending modes, and we'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks so much guys, we'll see you in the next video.